Hi everyone, welcome to my money expert talks for the day. Today I have the amazing and fabulous Claire with me, and she's going to share with me her many tools and tips and just absolute fabulousness around money. As we go through, you will see why Claire is here to share her amazing systems with us. So, Claire is a marketing and business mentor and consultant, and is also a professional Virgo. Now, if you go anywhere on Claire's stuff, you will always see she's a professional Virgo. So, she doesn't just know systems, they are in her blood. She's helps self-employed women and non-binary people get organized, productive, and profitable the easy way, which I love because it's not my natural skill. She focuses on building practical and repeatable steps and marketing strategies and tactics so you can spend more time and energy doing the things you love, either in your business or just in life in general. It's fabulous. Okay, so Claire, thank you so much for coming. It's so lovely to see you.
Thank you for the invitation. Excited to be here.
Do you have anything you would like to share with us? First and foremost, about your fabulous business and all the ways that you help, and especially, money's not been a small part of your business. You've been very successful at it. So,
Sure, thank you. I guess I've just entered my 10th year in business. My 10-year anniversary in this business is later in this year, in November 25. And I guess my probably disclaimer is that it's all been a process. I didn't start this business being great at money. I actually interestingly came in, and I guess when I first started getting involved in like the heart-centered business and that sort of thing, there was a lot of talk about money mindset and money blocks. And my response to that was, I'm great with money. I don't have any money blocks. There's no money mindset issues here. But the more that I understood what that actually meant, the more I was like, oh, maybe I do. And it was always really intriguing to me how money blocks or money mindset was the same as like health blocks and health mindset and perfectionism. And all right, like it's all kind of the same thing, just in a different bottle. Like one of them's called finances and one of them's called body image. It's all the same shit. It's just a different bottle that we're talking about, kind of thing. That your money mindset or your money blocks aren't necessarily bad all the time, but they're there. And there's, beliefs that I uncovered that I had that I didn't even know were a thing until, I started my business and that sort of thing. So it's definitely been a work in progress. And certainly, I always say business is the best personal development you can ever do. And it certainly has been that through the lens of money, if nothing else. So, yeah.
it strips everything away and brings everything up. Like, I'm going to start a business. Excellent. We're just going to knock it all down and just show you everything.
Yeah,
Oh, thank
exactly.
you.
Thank you. Great. Can't wait. Bring it on.
So, as you know, I've got some questions for you. So, if I can start them, that would be excellent.
Bring it on.
Okay.
Lovely.
Now, because I know you personally, um, you have always amazed me with your money systems. So, do you want to go through a little bit about what your amazing money systems are?
Sure, they are vast. There's quite a few in there. I do love my little systems. There's two, I suppose, the two big ones that a lot of people would have heard of is Profit First and Barefoot Investor, which I sort of use Profit First for how I manage and store money and stuff in my business, and Barefoot Investor, how I do personal finance and all of that sort of thing. Because I use both of them, they are really intertwined and they do kind of overlap and feed into each other or not or whatever. So they're kind of the two, I guess, what am I talking about? Like
Priority
ecosystems.
systems.
Yeah, those sort of things that I really like. I don't follow either of them to a T ever, but I've adapted them to be things that make sense for me, and give me, my little inner perfectionist, her little control freak about moving money around and having certain things in certain pots and, all of that sort of thing. So that's a big thing. My personal things that I've created that I know work really well for me is using my calendar. And this is only a newish thing, probably in the last 2 years. We all know cost of lives has been a bit crazy. And I just found like I was missing bills and I was, um, I was constantly having to like move money around and pay a late fee. And it was just really irritating me because it had never really been an issue before. I was always really on top of things, or perhaps I just didn't have to be quite as on top of things. And then I all of a sudden did. So I've got like a little system in my calendar where anything that's a recurring cost has its own color code. Shock horror. Like you said, textbook Virgo. It's dark blue. It's not red or anything scary. It's just a dark, solid, stable. I got this blue. And it says how much it is, on what recurring basis, what it's for, and which account it's coming out of, which sounds like completely over the top. But once I'd set it up with, my subscriptions for my business or my subscriptions for my personal life, Netflix, and that sort of thing, it just made sense so that every time I'm touching my money, whether it's weekly or daily, I can see exactly what I need to have in which account on which day. And it just makes me feel a lot more calm about having a overview rather than thinking there's money there and then I go to spend something and I'm like, shit, that payment came out. I didn't realize. And now I'm stuck for the next thing or whatever. It just felt yucky. So now I feel like I've got that overview where I can see exactly what's coming up rather than just my list of like, these are all my subscriptions. I can see exactly when they're kind of due, which, as I said, I know it sounds over the top, but it is like
Not over the
hugely,
top. That's
hugely important to me.
the one page money planner because
Yeah.
it's everything for it could be weekly, it could be daily, it could be quarterly, it could be yearly, everything on just one page to stick on the fridge. So definitely
Yeah.
not over the top because so many people get lost
Yeah.
in those moments. And I love the fact that you put a calendar together for it. I think that is fabulous. Definitely not over the top.
Calendar. Yeah.
Yeah, no, great. And
I
the dark blue.
I use reporting as well. So every month, I've got a little specific list of reports that I go and look at. So I know that what's in my bookkeeping system is accurate, and I can make decisions. So sometimes there'll be a thing that's come out and I'm like, oh, I meant to cancel that. So I can go and do that straight away. Or, looking at what I expect my cash flow to be for the next month or something also helps me make decisions. So having those little systems in place
Mm,
just makes it so much, I just feel like it's, without being a total control freak, I am in control. I'm not surprised every week by, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I made that much. Or, oh my gosh, I didn't realize my expenses were that much. Like I get the money in and I spend the money and I'm like, I know that's what happened because I'm following, like I'm
yes.
paying attention. Yeah.
So you said that you use Barefoot Investor for personal and
Yep.
Profit First for business. And do they have separate bank accounts? Do they use separate principals? Do you need, say, 8 personal accounts and 12 business accounts? Is that how this looks? Like,
Like Barefoot Investor, he talks about having 5 different accounts. Like two of them are, one of them sort of daily life, one of them's called Splurge. Then there's two others, fire extinguisher and something else. To be honest, I don't use the other two very much. I just used the daily one and Splurge a little bit. And then there's Mojo, which is your big savings for like your house deposit or whatever, which is for me in a totally different bank account. I put my money in there every month and I get paid interest every month, and it just sits there until such time as I'm ready to use it. Um, Profit First is definitely more about, well, not more about, but it emphasizes more the philosophy of profit first. So traditionally, obviously, as you know, traditionally it's income comes in, expenses go out, whatever's left over is profit. So Mike Michalowicz, who's the author of Profit First and several other books, he teaches you profit first. So income comes in, a little bit goes into a profit account. Could be 1%, could be 10%, whatever is doable, but it means you're always profitable. Whatever's left over, that gets used on expenses and tax and all of that sort of thing. With the over the top layer, that then you're also proactively putting money aside for tax and super and whatever else. And you're paying yourself, right? And this is one thing that entrepreneurs aren't very good at sometimes, is actually paying ourselves. So yes, I have separate banks for personal and there's a separate bank for my business. And within each of those, there are several layers. I also, like I said, have a few extra things where I run retreats. But so all the income that comes into those goes into holding accounts for retreats, and I don't pay myself all the expenses for that until the retreat's over,
yes.
which means that If something goes wrong, hashtag 2020, we all know what happened there. If something goes wrong, I haven't spent the money before I've actually delivered the service because I don't ever want to put myself into that position. So yes, they're really similar in terms of protecting yourself for the future by using systems like having different accounts for certain things, but they're very intertwined. I never sit down just to do my business money or just to do my personal money. It's always
Together.
intertwined. Yeah.
But you might go like for I'm just going to look at my business stuff. Okay, here's my personal stuff, and then at some point, do they meet? Just where you're getting paid from your business? Is that the
Yeah,
program?
yeah, I guess so. I mean, it also is a lifestyle thing and a goal setting thing, right? So if I'm like, I want to go on a holiday next year, or I want to buy a house, or I need to upgrade my car, well, that's a personal goal. But my business funds that. My business is my only form of income. So it has to then inform decisions like how much money do I need to make from the different streams of my business? How am I going to do that? Which then informs launches and marketing and product and service creation and that sort of thing. So I guess it's kind of informs either way. And also, I know if something changes in my business, if good or bad, if I know I've got a client who cancels 6 months into a 12-month contract or something like that, well, that is probably going to impact my personal life because I've already budgeted the cash flow
For
to
that
do
money?
whatever. So yeah, it's a two-way street. And at the end of the day, I'm a sole trader. It's just me. I don't have staff. I don't have a team. So it is on me to make my own income in my business to fund my life and my children's life, right? And they like lots of extracurricular activities. So, you know,
You got to count on the whole gang. Got to take the whole gang with you.
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
See, that just sounds. It sounds amazing, and it sounds like. Do you spend hours and hours doing it? Is it like every week, 4 hour block, money looking at?
Oh gosh, no, no, not at all. I guess, as I said, it's been a work in progress. So, like every Monday, it's still in my calendar. It's called Barefoot Money Day, even though it's not really barefoot anymore. It's all the money stuff.
Yes.
And it's the first Monday of every month where I look at my finances, I do reporting, all of that sort of thing. So that probably takes me 15 minutes at the most, to be honest, maybe 20 minutes on a slow day if I get distracted or whatever. So it doesn't take me all that long. But I also do my bookkeeping and reconciliations at least 3 times a week. So I don't have a lot of button pressing to catch up on once a month. I do it quite proactively. And quite regularly. And I really love it. Like a lot of people I work with, the first thing they want to outsource is their bookkeeping because it's too hard. They don't care. They don't like it. They don't want to. They don't know how, all that sort of thing. And I encourage that. I really love it. I was awful at maths, but I reckon if I'd done business maths, I would have aced it because it makes sense to me. It makes sense because it's money.
Yep.
I like having money. So I
Yes.
want control over it. Also being a single mum and, being self-employed, I have to be in control of it. Otherwise I'm cooked. So yeah. So no, I probably spend 5 minutes a day doing reconciliations. I invoice as I go, and then I do that little money date with myself for maybe half an hour, up to half an hour once a month, and that's it. Yeah.
I think it's Michael Gruber, and he said people abdicate from their money. They go,
Right.
now it's my bookkeeper, now it's my accountant. Bye, bye, money. I'm never coming back to you ever again.
Right. Yeah.
And it's just that whole not knowing.
Mm,
They go, if I don't know and you should know, I'll just abdicate it to you. And of
yeah.
course, that's where you become vulnerable.
Absolutely. And it's one of my pet peeves that um and often I think people do it with in good faith and that sort of thing. They get a bookkeeper or someone, and in that package is I'm going to send you a P&L once a month and I'll do all your reconciliations and I'll do your tax return, blah, blah, blah. And it never fucking happens. It might happen for the first month or two. And then I couldn't tell you how many clients I've had that are paying somewhere between $300 and $1,000 a month for a bookkeeper, and they have no idea what they're doing for them.
Yep.
And it still takes them 6 hours to do their own BAS once a quarter.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
no,
What?
it's
What?
just,
Like, if you have those people, you are still responsible and accountable for making sure that it's happening. So again, having things like if you've got a bookkeeper who is supposed to be doing X, Y, and Z, then there needs to be check-ins and milestones, and you are the one who has to be accountable for that. So putting it into your calendar, like you still have a money date, but you can't do your money date if you haven't received the report. So then you go to your bookkeeper, hey, I was supposed to have that report today. Where's it at? But if you're not being proactive, they're not going to. So
See, and it can be so easy. And I spoke to Tracy from Ironbark Financial Services, who's a bookkeeper, and it can just be so easy for people to, like I said, once they're abdicated, to then not follow up or follow through. And if they have a bookkeeper that would take advantage of that, or be too busy themselves and just not be aware, maybe not be as calendar aware as they could be, with different colors for different clients, that would be something that I would do. It gets lost. It
yeah,
gets lost, and all of a sudden, it becomes a much bigger thing than your 15 minutes on a Monday and a couple of reconciliations during the week, which is fabulous. This is why
and
I,
it's cost you $1,000 for nothing.
yeah,
Like,
yep, yep. Yeah,
yeah,
no. And just because you've given the people money doesn't mean they'll always do what they say they're going to do with the money that you've paid them. So if you say, look, I'll pay you this much to do X, Y, Z, like you said, doesn't mean they're going to come back with X, Y, and Z if you keep ignoring it and never following up and going, hey, what happened to X, Y, and
right.
Z?
Right. And also, it's a two-way street, right? I've also got clients who are bookkeepers and accountants
Yep.
and are very diligent, and they send their clients emails saying, I need this information, or I need clarification on this, or we need to book a meeting. And they don't hear back from the people who are paying them until, of course, 5 minutes before their tax return's due. And then it's all, stress and
Where is all
bloody.
this stuff? Why haven't you given it to
So
me? Pay
yeah,
this.
it's a two-way street. If you're, I think if it's the sort of thing that you really don't want to do yourself, that's totally cool. But you've still got to take the responsibility that it's still your money. And if you're going to invest in a specialist, then you could do the work as well. You wouldn't go and pay a $500 an hour psychologist if you just wanted them to do the work for you. Like you're going to have to do some homework too,
Yes.
and take it seriously.
Psychologists will just go, okay, so did you do that homework? No.
No, that's fine. Well, we'll talk about it again for another $500 for the hour.
Yes, yes.
Like, do you know what I mean? If you're going to invest in it, then you've got to be invested in it and actually do the work.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Mhm.
You invest in it, be invested in it. I like that. Thank you,
Yeah,
Claire.
write that down. I should write that down too. That was good.
We've got it on video.
There you go. Excellent. There's proof. It's not a shower thought that I'll forget the second I step out of the shower.
So one of my questions, my last question was going to be, if you were starting to keep track of money today,
Yep.
like you've never done it before, going to do it today, where would you start?
I think some practical things is not negotiable is having separate bank accounts for business and personal. And it does always blow me away how many people don't have that, even when they've been in business for a long time. But that is not negotiable. And hashtag not a bookkeeper, not an accountant. So this is not financial advice, obviously, but
I am a
it
bookkeeper, have
is
separate accounts.
excellent.
There you
Thank
go.
you. It's not just me with an opinion, it's a thing.
That's the thing.
It's a thing. And within those bank accounts, have the pots. So have the money, like the biggest thing for me, I've also registered for GST in the last 12 months. So I'm petrified of getting a bill
Okay.
of GST and not being able to pay it. So you bet your ass every week when I'm doing my reconciliations, I'm checking how much money am I supposed to have in my GST account, making sure that that balances that little pot.
Yep.
Same with tax. Because I've had the $10,000 tax bill, which I didn't look after myself for, and I don't ever want to have one of those that I can't pay again. Thank you
They're
very
not
much.
fun. No,
They're not.
no.
So just knowing that every time money comes in and I'm splitting a little bit into my GST pot, a little bit into my tax and super pot, a little bit into my profit pot, and then I'm paying myself makes me just go, cool. When that tax bill comes, I got the money sitting there because it's already been allocated rather than spent.
Yes.
So it just feels safer and I mean, from a compliance point of view, actually safer, but also mindset wise, I don't have to think about that. I'm looking after future Claire by moving a little bit of money every day or every week or something like that. So I think that's on a a tactical kind of level, having those sort of things. Decent software like accounting, bookkeeping software, or a really sexy spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be anything super expensive, just something that you can see exactly what you're spending and where so that you can make informed decisions, whether it's got all the elaborate reports or it's just, I can see that I've spent this much money on PD, this much money on networking, this much money on marketing, this much money on whatever, rather than getting to the end of the year and be like, shit, I've made all this money, but I've spent just as much as I've made. Where did that all go? I have no idea. Or, you end up with 25 subscriptions, three of which you use. Like just having that vision somehow, like I said, spreadsheet or bookkeeping software, something not negotiable.
It always amazes me how many times people are surprised by where money's going. I'm like, oh, you see how that's a monthly subscription? That
Uh,
happens every month.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
should be like, what? And watching as I was growing up and watching my mum and Telstra, it used to be Telecom, would send you a bill, and she would just be and it wasn't as like now there's lots of plans and stuff, so it wasn't as smick as that. And because it's the 80s, you get charged a fortune for a STD call, so interstate call, things like that. And but she would be shocked every month that the bill was coming, and I'm like,
Yeah, really? This happens every month.
we can catch on to that because it's
Every year,
regular.
right?
Yeah, so I love it that putting something in place just to capture that regular, because it doesn't, just because it's regular doesn't mean it's always in here.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you definitely don't want your mind the all your mind's load to be about, here's a monthly account that I pay every month. That shouldn't be loading and weighing down on you. You should be able to just put that on your wall or on a spreadsheet or on something and just go, yep, I can see how that is taken care of. Have a special little account in your bank, and it just comes out. It's all zippity zap zap zap. It's fabulous. So yeah, you can
After you.
start by keeping it simple,
Yep.
but by keeping track.
Absolutely. And I think that feeds into like my overall message for anyone starting out is to have some of those routines. Have a little checklist of what you need to do, even if it's just once a month. So once a month, I'm going to spend an hour doing reconciliations, running my profit and loss report, canceling any subscriptions I no longer need, and moving money to make sure that I'm paying myself or to make sure that I've got money for tax or whatever it is. So even if it's like 4 or 5 things that you just do once a month, but it's getting into that routine and holding yourself accountable, or getting a accountability buddy and you sit down and do your money stuff together but separately, or whatever it is that actually helps you build that routine so it's part of your business as usual.
Put it as a calendar meeting. I
That's
like the
it.
way you do that.
Mine's a recurring thing on the first Monday of the month, and in the notes of it, it's got my checklist of what to do. So
That is awesome.
hey, so I don't have to think about what to do. I just get to 9 o'clock on that day and it tells me what to do.
Yep.
There's no brain power.
See, and because I've been a bookkeeper and because I've worked in banking, and like it comes very naturally for me to do that. And sometimes I don't even really think about it so much anymore. It's just, doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I love having these conversations. It's like, no, Ros, not everyone, has been working with finance for 20 years. This is not just coming naturally.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, that's right.
That's exactly why. Yep. Because it does come naturally to you and it doesn't come naturally to us. And that's why
No,
we need some Roz in our lives.
it wasn't that it was natural, it's just that I've done it so long.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It's just like nursing. It's just I did it so
Yeah.
long, and now it's just there.
Yeah. It's like riding a bike.
Yeah. I don't think it's all just there.
Yeah.
So Claire, I love everything that you've shared, and I love your systems, and I love your money system, and I love that in your calendar every Monday, that first Monday of every month, there is something there that
Yep.
triggers you to look at your money. I think that is so wonderful. Like, because we're not taught that. We're not
No,
taught, hey, what if once a month you just had a look at that thing that's keeping you going every day?
that's the whole point of having your business, obviously, to help and serve. But also, if you're not making money, it's hard to eat. Do you know what I mean?
Edge.
It's a little bit hard to eat. So it's definitely, being a business owner, it's not negotiable. You have to control your money and have an understanding of it. And yeah, having some of these systems just makes it easier to make informed decisions rather than stupid decisions, which end up shooting yourself in the foot. It's all about looking after future you, whether that is a month in the future or a year or 5 years. Like I got
I
to look
always love
after
the way you
it
say
all.
that. Future Claire.
Yep.
Like this is for future Claire.
Right. And
Yes.
when I get the tax bill every 3 months and they're like, this is how much you have to pay, and it's exactly the amount that's in my account, I'm like, thank you, past Claire. You really looked after me today. I have nothing to worry about now.
You know what, past Claire might take you to lunch.
Yes, that's right. Past Claire is giving you a little treaty day today. Get a
Yes.
little
We got an extra $20 in the account. Come on, let's go.
right. Come on, it's a fancy bottle of wine.
Yeah, I love it. I've always loved the way that you put all these systems together because I know people can get overwhelmed both by not having a system and by having a system. Like it
Yeah.
can just go for
Yeah.
people. And just the way you talk about it with such, well, actually, I'm taking care of, future Claire, and I'm doing this from a place really to love and serve
Hmm.
me in the future. I just, it's always just really filled my heart
Yay.
watching
Thank you.
you do all this. Um, so thank you very much for coming and talking to me, and I will put this up and make it live for everybody to see. Is there anything in particular you would like to share? Because your business is amazing. So if you would like to share any particular where we can contact you, I will be putting links
Oh,
everywhere. But just if there's anything.
look, all the socials, Claire Riley Official on Instagram and Claire Riley Coaching on Facebook. I do a lot of content, as you know, which is all little tips and tricks and often little quick hacks to make things easier, often with systems and that sort of thing. Or my website, I think there's about 5 freebies on claireriley.co/free stuff. So go and grab yourself a freebie while you're there.
No, that is just awesome. Claire, thank you very much for sharing with me your amazing money story.
Yay, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'll see you later. Thank you for listening to the Money Wellness Circle podcast. Our guest today was Claire Riley. Claire is a marketing and business mentor and consultant, and also a professional Virgo who helps self-employed women and non-binary people get organized, productive, and profitable the easy way. She focuses on building practical and repeatable marketing strategies and tactics so you can spend more energy doing the things you love to do in your business and your life. The best way to contact Claire would be on her website www.claireriley.co. And my name was Roz. Thank you very much for being here. If you would like to get hold of any of my freebies or work with me for free, please go to roslynhiggins.com.au/free stuff. I'll speak to you next time. Bye.